Well, hello everyone. You have right here talking about the Mizzou marching band right here, and it sure seems that way that when we do speak about reading up any articles about the marching band right here. But I was also thinking too that whenever I was working on this, I was just thinking if it's Mizzou, yeah, or YRU or something like that, and so really, that each time you do think about the so-called pronunciation for Mizzou right here, that I kept thinking is toward okay, yeah, that each time I heard it, it seems like that it was spelt with one Z instead of two. I used to think that if anything that there's two Z's right there for Mizzou, Mizzou or something like that, but anyway, see right here that with Mizzou right here, and then you have right here for the marching band, and then at New York City right here, and the floats, and at Missouri right here, and Happy Thanksgiving. So it's like, yeah, so whenever I was working on this, I was just thinking that whenever we talk about marching Mizzou right here, and have right here with Missouri right here, so this right here was supposed to be like maybe an invitation or any other source of a brochure or something like that, and thinking too is toward okay, yeah, that there will be about maybe one or two images at about right here, and then you have right here from Marching Mizzou right here, and so it sure seems that way that when we do think about putting something like that together right here, and everybody think is toward okay, yeah, that you with the way you think about that too, and want to know too that okay, yeah, that yeah, this but like a marching band right here, New York City right here, and so it's like yeah. So whenever I was looking at this right here, I was just thinking that for how it's pronounced and all that, but still that but you have the Mizzou Tiger right here, and if we can all see this right here, that if we can see this right here, that the way I have it put together right here is that you got 2000 right here, but then you got the tiger right there. I'm like, oh yeah, you got the tiger right there, but still, it's like whenever you do look at that, you have right here for Happy Thanksgiving, Mizzou right here, and so it sure seems that way that Mizzou right here, your University of Missouri or something like that, but the way you think about that, and you're thinking is toward, yeah, that if that's how it's pronounced, whenever you do go to the websites, that maybe if that's how it's pronounced, whenever you do, I'm like, oh yeah, like that if it's maybe like in these typo or for a slogan or something like that, but still, each time I think about that, I'm always want to know too that yeah, that why is it that is it spelt with one Z or with two Z's? Because I usually known it for two Z's right here. And you might say that, well, really, that if you're going to be talking about the University of Missouri for sure, that it might be known for a lot of all the other students as M-I-Z, O-U right here from Mizzou. And but anyway, but you have right here the tiger of it, but still, if we can all see this right here, you got the words right here for marching band, New York City, and then you got the floats, and then you got Missouri, and then Thanksgiving right here. And so it sure seems that way that when we do think about working with these words right here, and thinking as to where if we were to be putting this together right here, if it's supposed to be something such as a typical newsletter though, and you're want to know too that yeah, how do you think that that something like this would actually be recognized to where that anybody, I'm like yeah, like whenever you do think about the University of Missouri, by the way, that you think about that is toward okay, yeah, that you would usually see something like this down here where there's like a QR code scan and all that, where you can for more information and all that, but still that but it's like whenever I was working on this, I was just thinking that yeah, go ahead and add some more details right here for the tiger right here, but like if we could all see this right here, that yeah, whenever I was working on this, I was just thinking that okay, yeah, that you go ahead and work on the details right there for the tiger right there. But you likely want to know too that okay, yeah, if you were to be working with the tiger right there, because the way I have it painted like that, I don't know, it looks a little bit like a lion. Yeah, more like a lion. If it's supposed to represent something, for like maybe the Disney movie of the Lion King or something like that. I don't know. I actually see whenever I look at this, I'm also looking at a picture of a lion, and so the way I have the fur and everything all painted like that, it looks a little bit more like a lion. But everybody might say that, yeah, well, the University of Missouri, for sure, whenever they're up there in New York City, or say is that, that yeah, that the Disney characters of the Lion King, there and other floats and balloons and all that, but still, talk about for Happy Thanksgiving right here. But you have right here for Marching Mizzou right here, and if we can all see this right here, a little bit of color right there, and let's just say that if I were to add the color there, and want to know that, yeah, let me see here. Add a little bit of color there. But color, black, or let's see, maybe start out with another color here. Let me see here. No, let's see here. But anyway, just form like a, yeah, instead of changing the color there, that go ahead and so yeah, if I were to go ahead and put Marching Mizzou right here, like yeah, I don't know, like everybody might say that the type of appearance for what it looks like right there, but really, why do you think that looks like the way I'm doing this right here? Why do you think it looks like it's saying two separate words? And like any graphic designer might even say too that if you're going to be placing text just like that right there, what is that really telling anybody? Really, I'm like, is it really just telling them that yeah, that the MIZOU used to be MIZY, right here, but if you were to actually play around the text and the typo, right, typography graphic, tools right there, it looks like it just a little bit. Like when you say, what do you think it's saying now? Whenever you do play around with the tools like that, you do like but there, right there, but well, what do you think it's saying right there? Well, for sure, that if you moved it around a lot like that, it looks like it's saying, yeah, Marching Mizzou. Yeah, that's a little bit what it looks like right there, Marching Mizzou or something like that, or Marching Muzz or something like that. But still, that so each time, yeah, like it's almost like the text are actually, and I don't know, I haven't really done the studies about this, but if we were to think about Mizzou right here, this right here, it looks like that those letters are just gradually, like maybe a little bit like in 3D, not really, but it looks like these are being lifted off the document, just like that. So like everybody might say that if you want to add like a little After Effect right there to Mizzou right there in 102, that yeah, just add a little After Effect right there. Yeah, it would look like a shadow, like a little shadow right there of the Y of the OU right here from Mizzou, and so it sure seems that way, that watching the parade and thinking is toward, okay, yeah, that you look at the floats right there and all that, but still that that you're thinking is toward it. You got the Mizzou Tigers right here, and but still you got New York City right here, and you got Happy Thanksgiving right here, and it's like yeah, that whenever you do think about that and want to know that. Talk about other images for from the parade and everything, but still that that whenever you look at that and you're thinking, okay, yeah, the city that never sleeps. That's something I was wanting to use too. And the city that never sleeps, and that's usually what you hear too. So in case of anybody, I'm like, yeah, it's a slogan or something like that. Anything that represents for that right there. But still, but yeah, a city that never sleeps right here. And so you're thinking is toward it. So anybody that might even say that, if you were to actually have the marching band there at New York City right here, and want to know that the city that never sleeps, and but still. So half the time, yeah, everybody else might even say too that if you were to go to New York City a lot of times, it sure seems that way. That you're thinking as toward it. That yeah, the city that never sleeps. So it's like at nighttime, especially at nighttime. What do you think that the tiger? I'm like, yeah, the tiger logo would look, maybe just a little bit like, like I say that whenever you do driving around or walking around the city of New York City or any other cities like that, that there'll be like something that shows like at the night reflector or something like that. That but still, it's like talk about the city that never sleeps right here. And you have right here from Mizzou right here, but you have right here Happy Thanksgiving right here. And you're thinking is that talk about for MIZ right here, and you're thinking is toward it, top. If you want to look at it, maybe a little bit like abbreviation right here. But whenever I was looking at the tiger right here, I was just thinking is toward it that you got right here some represents for the Mizzou marching band and everything, for that but still that I know that whenever it comes to representing for the University of Missouri right here, I was thinking about putting these words together right here. Talk about for New York City, the floats right here, the balloons. I can also mention on there are the balloons. The balloons, and so it's like so whenever we do think about yeah, I know it. Keywords right here, the balloons right here. So it's like whenever you do think about that and thinking this toward it, if it's supposed to be like, if you were designing any sorts of flyer or any sorts of invitation or something like that, and people might think is toward it, that do you think everybody would be able to recognize what you're describing here just by, you don't really tell a story whenever you're talking about that stuff, like whenever you had this right here. So like everybody might say that what would be an easier way to be able to get everybody to understand what is it that you're saying and what is it that you're doing, and something, an upcoming event or something like that. So it's like so each time you think about that, and you're aware to where that if you were to maybe include like a a form or a document that's maybe about this size right here. It's supposed to be like upcoming event right here. Marching band, New York City, floats and balloons. So those are like the three objectives that you would be expecting to see there. And then you would see like a picture right here. So like everybody might say, a picture is a picture, but let's just say that that whenever people recognize that, then maybe that that they're able to see that there's more information right here. Like nowadays they have it to where that you can scan your QR code at about right here and all that. So it's like so a lot of times you always want to know too that if that's the way that they're going to be doing that for now on, to where that for more information, scan your code right with the QR code scanner right there. But it's like everybody else might say that it used to be, is to where that you would be able to read the information right up here. So it's like a lot of times that you're always want to know too that you have right here from marching band, New York City floats balloons, and the state of Missouri right here, and Happy Thanksgiving right here. And each time you think about that, and you're thinking that okay, I know what it says, but so everybody might even say that that seems to be pretty confusing just because that they can read it, but it used to be to where that if you were, I'm like, yeah, well, what exactly is it that this right here was supposed to be an ad or something like that, or any sorts of brochure or something like that. So everybody might say that yeah, if you're going to be sending an invitation to somebody or something like that, then people might say that include include something creative, right? Like everybody might say that each time you do think about that, and you're one to know too that you go ahead and include something, some sort of sketch or something like that, with the Missouri Tiger on there. But I'll tell everybody that we're working on this right here, and I was just thinking that the way I have it painted right here, it looks a little bit more like a lion, but one day watching the parade, and then just thinking as to where that the marching parade and everything, but still that you include maybe 4 or 5 images on there, and maybe include a story and all that, and people might even say that if you were to put right here from Mizzou right here, but it's like that maybe not everybody's really going to understand it all, unless if they were there, unless if they can recognize a lot of that stuff that they see right there. And but each time I think about that, I kept thinking too is to where there isn't Mizzou spelt with Mizzou. I keep reading and hearing Mizzou. But still, like everybody might say that the extra Z, did that just is that just spelled? You just think that it's just with an extra Z or something like that. But people might even say too that that when we do talk about Mizzou, by the way, that each time I do look at the name Mizzou, I can tell you, be quite honest with you, everybody. If I would have heard the name Mizzou for the first time, I would have guessed that it meant zoo, the animal zoo or something like that. I don't know if I would have guessed it was a college, but in case if anybody's wondering that, what does it sound like to you? Like if I would have saw this name right here, I would have maybe guessed the zoo, but still, Mizzou, the University of Missouri right here, but Mizzou. Okay, Mizzou sounds like the zoo right there. Yeah, the zoo. That's the place where a lot of the animals live and all that, where you can go and see the animals or something like that. But in case if anybody's wanting to know too, that now I'm like, there's a difference between them, but in case if anybody were to ask me that the first thing that you saw whenever the first thing that you were thinking about whenever you saw this right here, what do you think it would have been? Do you think that it would have been maybe the library, or do you think that maybe it could have been the coffee shop or the zoo? And I would probably maybe even tell them maybe like a 20 or so percent is toward the coffee shop. Maybe Mizzou. Okay, you're talking about the gift shop or the coffee shop or maybe the zoo or something like that. But they're like, no, Mizzou is a college. We're talking about a college here. We're not talking about there's probably a few off of campus. There's probably a coffee shop by the Mizzou's. Maybe it probably goes by a different name, but still that in case if anybody's want to know too that whenever you do hear the name Mizzou, by the way, that do you think that you would have guessed that it was a college, the University of Missouri, or do you think that maybe you would have maybe guessed as to where it's a zoo? And people might say that there is a difference between ZOO, and yeah, there's a difference, and I know that everybody's probably thinking too that there is a difference. By the way, yeah. In case somebody by 102, that if you would actually do the studies, done the studies very well, that people might say that the first time that you heard that name, by the way, that it was on the menu, by the way, before I realized, but still. Everybody might say that, whenever you see that, by the way, yeah, I think about zebra, yeah, I actually think about the lions or something like that, but still. How often are we going to maybe get the college confused with the zoo? But, still, it's like every time you do think about that, and you're always 102, that yeah, if you recognize it as a zoo for sure, but like everybody might say that, you did not spell Mizzou correctly. By the way, you spelled it with a ZOO right here, but the way it's pronounced, it's Mizzou right here. But like everybody might even say that, really, what are you really going to do if you do pronounce it incorrectly? And everybody might say that, if you do pronounce it incorrectly, for sure that there's a story you can talk about, right? Can you explain why you put ZOO right there? It's pronounced ZOU right there. And so in case of anybody that may want to know too, that, yeah, what does it look like with the ZOO right there? Yeah, it looks like you too. I'll even tell everybody that that's exactly that's my opinion about it. Every time you think about that, and you're 102, if there's other guests and anybody else who's invited to go to the games and everything, you can maybe tell them that Mizzou, you too, right here. And I mean, I really don't know, but let's just say that if in case if anybody were to think about it that way, that you have MIZZOU right here, and zoo right here, such as you two. You two are invited to come to this event or something like that. So it's like, so every time you do think about that, and you're always 102, that do you think that that Mizzou would do something like that, to where that they would put that on the greeting cards and everything, like to where that, yeah, every time you think about Mizzou, by the way, you put zoo on there, such as you too, or something like that, and and like everybody else might say that, if you've really thought about it that way, but in case if we're all 102, that there is really, like everybody might say that, if you were to actually put zoo on there, then anybody might even say that, go ahead and make it a little bit smaller, and then I'm like, yeah, make it a little bit smaller, just like that, right there, and yeah, maybe put right there in the middle or something like that. But really, in case of anybody that may want to know too, that anybody who looks at that for sure, that they're going to say that, yeah, that's not how it's pronounced, but on the other hand, that if you two want to get a gift for somebody, or you two or something like that, if you two have an extra ticket or something like that, but at the time it sure seems that way, that yeah, you learn something every day, right? But it sure seems that way, that every time you think about Mizzou, by the way, that it's possible that you're going to maybe think about that is toward that, yeah, it's a college, but people might, kids might even say that the zoo, that's where the animals live or something like that. But still that but if the college were to think about that, is toward the ZOO right here, meant is toward it, you too, are invited or something like that. But anyway, but the way I think about it, talk about for the marching band right here in New York City, the floats and the balloons, and Missouri right here, and then a happy Thanksgiving right here. Talk about from Mizzou. But thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day. Yeah, marching Mizzou right here. Marching Mizzou, you too. And But the way I think about that, yeah, that whenever you do think about that, and you're always one to know too, that yeah, is it supposed to be one word, or is it supposed to be, what's called the zoo right here for Mizzou? But anyway, thanks for watching, everyone, and have a good day.